Has there ever been a rivalry in rugby league quite like the Brisbane Broncos and the North Queensland Cowboys? Not built on bitterness, not fueled by hatred, but by sheer respect, excitement, and the guarantee that whenever these two clubs clash, you're in for one hell of a game.
Yeah! Old school Broncos! Yeah!
Welcome back to the Old School Broncos podcast, where we dive deep into the history, the stories, and the culture behind our great club. Today, we're looking at one of the most remarkable rivalries in modern NRL, the Broncos versus the Cowboys. It's fast, it's thrilling, it's full of history, and it's different from just about every other rivalry in footy. From the very first clash in the mid-90s, Broncos v Cowboys games have never been about the wrestle. Forget slowing the ruck down or grinding your opponent into the turf. When these two Queensland teams collide, it's always been about pace, skill, and end-to-end footy. Both teams love to attack. It's in the Queensland DNA. The Cowboys, even in their early years of struggle, always played with a bit of flair. A swing it wide and see what happens mentality. The Broncos brought the polish and the class, big names, structured plays, but against the Cowboys, it always opened up into an attacking shootout. It's almost as though when these two Queensland clubs face off, they refuse to play safe. They know the fans want a spectacle, and a spectacle is exactly what they've delivered year after year after year. You only have to look at the run of results, particularly around 2015 to 2017, to understand why this rivalry is so special. The 2015 Grand Final, arguably the greatest rugby league game ever played. A Golden Point classic, heartbreak for Brisbane when Kyle Feldt scored in the corner on the buzzer. Jonathan Thurston slotted that field goal after hitting the post just seconds earlier. For Broncos fans, it was devastation. But here's the thing, most of us also had this weird, bittersweet feeling. Sadness for our team, but also pride that a Queensland side, the Cowboys, had finally broken through. It was almost like watching your brother beat you in the backyard. You hated losing, but you were glad it stayed in the family. 2016, round 4, another Golden Point thriller. This time, Anthony Milford kicked the match-winning field goal at Suncorp, 21-20. Redemption, at least for a moment. Later that year, in round 11, the reverse fixture saw Cowboys sneak away with a 19-18 win in their favour in Townsville. Then the 2016 final series, a semi-final in Townsville, Golden Point again. Michael Morgan finds Feldt back inside to Thurston, and JT sends Lachlan Coote over. Cowboys win 26-20, another heart-stopping classic. In 2017, round 2, yet again decided by 1 point. Jordan Kahu nails a sideline conversion to level it, but Jonathan Thurston calmly slots the winner. It was relentless. The stretch of games from 2015 to 2017 cemented Broncos-Cowboys as a rivalry you couldn't miss. Not because of hatred, but because you knew the final whistle might come down to one kick, one bounce, and one moment of magic. This is where Broncos v Cowboys is so different from, say, Roosters and Rabbitohs or Storm vs anyone. There's no genuine hatred. If anything, there's brotherly love. Most Queenslanders support both clubs in some way. The Broncos might be your number one, but you're not exactly upset if the Cowboys are the team flying the flag for Queensland. In 2015 again, that grand final was a rollercoaster of emotions. Sadness for the Broncos' loss, joy for the Cowboys that they'd won their first title, and sadness again when their reality set in. It was an emotional seesaw only Queensland footy fans could really understand. I was there, crying, laughing, crying some more as the trophy did the lap around the field post-game. But here's the key. These players know each other as well. They've grown up together. Both clubs recruit heavily out of Queensland pathways. Schools, junior clubs, rep sides, lower grades. By the time a Broncos player runs into a Cowboys player, they've probably played with or against each other half a dozen times. And that's why they belt each other for 80 minutes. It's not with malice. It's like when you play your best mate in backyard cricket. You're trying your hardest to beat them, but you'll laugh about it afterwards. That shared upbringing and those familiar faces make the clashes even more special. Another quirk of the rivalry, is the long list of players who swapped sides, or at least had their careers shaped by both clubs. And because so many of them came through the same Queensland pathways, it never felt like betrayal, it felt neutral. Let's look at Brent Tate, a Broncos premiership winner who later became a Cowboys stalwart. Ben Hennett went from a Broncos pack to a Cowboys engine room and won a premiership for both teams. Scotty Prince started out at the Cowboys, then to the Broncos, off to the Tigers and the Titans to captain, before switching back to the Broncos to finish up, and now he's the women's coach for the Broncos. Antonio Winterstein started with the Broncos before becoming a key Cowboy, even played in that grand final. Jordan Kahu the same. There are so many players that have gone both ways, but the story goes even deeper when you look at some of the big names. Gordon Tallis, the Raging Bull, grew up in Townsville, but there was no Cowboys team when he came through, so he had to chase his dreams in Brisbane. That decision shaped the Broncos dynasty of the late 90s and early 2000s. Sam Thaiday, very similar story. Another Townsville product who was overlooked by the Cowboys as a teenager. The Broncos took a punt and he turned into a club legend and a Queensland and Australian stalwart. Jonathan Thurston, born and bred in Brisbane. Not wanted by anyone, Canterbury gave him a start, but it was in Townsville where he became a legend. The Broncos let the greatest Cowboy of them all slip through their fingers. Then we've got a current player, Tommy Dearden, left Brisbane broken, written off as too small, too green, he was too young. He went to the Cowboys, rebuilt himself, and is now one of the competition's best halfbacks. All of these stories just show how interconnected the two clubs are. It's the same Queensland nursery of players, the same juniors, the same schoolboy competitions. Sometimes you end up in Brisbane, sometimes you end up in Townsville. But either way, you're part of this rivalry. So why does Broncos vs Cowboys hit different? It's the guaranteed calendar highlight. Every year when the draw comes out, fans circle Broncos vs Cowboys. You know it's going to deliver. The games are unpredictable, high scoring, and usually come down to the wire. There's pride on the line, not hate. It's like playing your mates. You'll smash into each other all night, but share a beer after the whistle. Those bragging rights are very important. Even today, with player movement, coaching changes, and ups and downs in form, the rivalry stays strong. It's built on respect, entertainment, and shared Queensland spirit. So when we talk about rivalries in the NRL, the Broncos vs Cowboys stands out because it's unique. It's not about grudges, it's not about cheap shots, it's about footy played the way it should be. Fast, thrilling, and with a sense of pride for the fans on both sides. Every time these teams face off, you know you're in for a game that'll stay with you. It's more than just 2 points on the ladder, it's a showcase of Queensland Rugby League and a reminder that sometimes the best rivalries aren't about enemies. They're about brothers pushing each other to the absolute limit. And that's why Broncos vs Cowboys will always be one of the great fixtures of the Rugby League calendar. But I'd like to hear your memories of your favourite Broncos vs Cowboys clash. Drop them in the comments, share this episode, and let's relive those moments together. This is the Old School Broncos podcast. Let's go, Broncos.